In this video, we are going to recap the concept of arithmetic progression. That is what we used to call AP. Right? We'll recall first, then we'll solve problems on AP. Alright? See, when we talk about arithmetic progression, quick recall, remember we have n number of terms in an AP, correct? The first term is represented by A and it has a common difference D, isn't it? So every term, that is, we start from the first term being A. When n is equal to 1, we have A. Alright? When n is equal to 2, we have A plus D. When you have n is equal to 3, A plus 2D. That is A plus D plus D. Correct? So on and so forth. When you have n is equal to n, that is the nth term of an AP. This is A plus n minus 1 into D. Correct? So this was called as the nth term of an AP. This you all know because you have studied, you have done a lot of problems on this. Now the next part of AP is the sum to n terms of an AP. Okay, now sum of n number of terms of an AP, we can call it as Sn. Now in this one, we had two formulas. The first formula was n by 2 into A plus L. L being the last term of the AP. Right? Another formula, Sn is equal to n by 2 2A plus n minus 1 into D, which I'm sure all of you remember because this is the formula what we generally use in solving any sort of a problem. Correct? These are the two formulas for sum of n number of terms of an AP. Right? Now the next one is for sum of n consecutive numbers. That is 1, 2, 3, 4 all the way till n. Okay, in such cases, sum of n consecutive numbers Sn is equal to n into n plus 1 divided by 2. Right, so this is the sum of n number of terms of an AP. That is consecutive terms and that too integers. Okay. These are the formulas and these are the type of problems you have already solved before, isn't it? Sum to n terms of an AP you have solved. Nth term of an AP you have solved. All these formulas you have already used. So just to quick recap whatever we have done, we are going to solve problems on whatever formulas you already know. Okay, and whatever formulas we have right now on the screen, using those we are going to solve problems now. Look at the first problem. If the sum of n terms of an AP is this, where P and Q are constants, find the common difference. Right? See, common difference, if you want, common difference is what? The second term minus the first term or third term minus second term. Basically two consecutive terms, correct? Very simple. So D value is nothing but A2 minus A1, right? Or we can call it as, see what is A2? 2 into P, that's 2P plus 4Q because 2 square, right? Minus of P plus Q, isn't it? So what do we have? 2P minus P is P, 4Q minus Q is plus 3Q. So common difference becomes P plus 3Q. Very simple, very, very direct type of problem. Correct? So the answer for the first one is this. That is P plus 3Q. Fine. Let's do the second one now. Look at the second question. Find the sum of all natural numbers lying between 100 and 1000 which are multiples of 5. Right? Now let's start by taking the first term and the last term and the number of terms. First thing, between 100 and 1000, so 100 and 1000 are not included. First thing. That means my first number will be 105. Correct? Multiple of 5. Next, 110, 115, so on and so forth till 995. Right? Now, A value is 105, D value is 5. The last term is 995. We don't know the value of n though. We can calculate n. So what formula are you going to use? An is equal to A plus n minus 1 into D. That's 995 is equal to 105 plus n minus 1 times 5. See, you can divide by 5 now itself or after subtracting, it's up to you. I'm gonna subtract 105. So if you subtract 105 from 995, so you're going to get 890. N minus 1 into 5. Now you divide by 5. So we get n minus 1 is equal to 890 divided by 5. So if you divide 5 one time, then you're going to have 39, then 7 times 35, 178. So n is equal to 179. Right? Now we can use the formula Sn is equal to n by 2 into A plus L, because we know the first term, we know the last term. Very simple. So n by 2, 179 by 2 into 105 plus 995. 179 by 2 into 995 plus 105. 1000, 1100. So 5, 5, 0. So we have 179 into 550, correct? So the answer becomes 98,450. So the sum of all the natural numbers between 100 and 1000 which are divisible by 5 is this. Understood? So this is the answer for the second question. Now let's do the third one. See the third question? Here, see, sum of certain number of terms of an AP is 116. Find the last term. Again, we are going to use the same formula, n by 2 into A plus L, because L represents the last term, isn't it? Now, the formula what we are going to use, Sn, correct, is equal to n by 2 into A plus L. A we know, D we know, Sn we know, but n we don't know. N is what we are trying to figure out, because they're saying certain number of terms, n, we don't know what it is, correct? You can use this one, or n by 2, 2a plus n minus 1 into d. This also you can use. I mean, any one of them, because both of them are pretty much one in the same formula anyway. So, Sn, given Sn is what? 116. A value is 25. D value is minus 3. 22 minus 25. Now, let's apply the values. Sn 116. N by 2. 2a, that's 50. 2 into 25, right? 50 plus n minus 1 into minus 3. Multiply the 2. We are going to have 116 into 2 is 232. N into 50 minus 3n plus 3. So 232, 50n, sorry, 53n, you can directly write 53n minus 3n square. Take it to the left hand side. So you have 3n square minus 53n plus 232 is equal to 0. Correct? So this is what we have. Now we have to split. Remember the factorization method? split the middle term, and once we split the middle term, we can figure out the value of n, like what we can discard and what we can keep. So let's figure out what are the factors now. If you solve this, we'll get n is equal to 8 or n is equal to 29 divided by 3. Now we know that this is not possible. I mean, you cannot have a decimal number of terms, right? So what do we get? N is equal to 8, correct? So we can say find the last term, but for that n value is 8, isn't it? Now since n is equal to 8, substitute the 8th term is what is required, right? So 8th term, so here only I'm going to do the 8th term. See, A8 is equal to A plus 7D, right? Which is 25 plus 7 into minus 3. 25 minus 21, which is 4. So the last term which we are going to use to get the sum of 116 is 4. Clear? So this is the answer for the third one. Now let's move on and let's do the fourth one.